Hi everyone, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. And Father Reed, you're back and we're happy you are. We've got a great show for you today.
Glad to be back because it is going to be a great show, Jay. And we have a wonderful guest, Monica Ursino. Teraldo is with us today, a young woman who truly loves her Catholic faith, and her music is a huge part of it.
Kevin, what we hear about in the news today?
Jay, we're going to have information on the death of Archbishop Sambi. We also have information on the situation, the dire situation in Somalia as well. It's all coming up in the news. Jay?
All that and much more right now on This Is the Day. Hello, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us on This Is the Day. We're so glad you're tuning in. Joining me are my wonderful friends, Kevin Nelson and Father Reed, who is back from New Orleans, where you spoke down there. How'd it go?
Oh, it was great. Wonderful, wonderful people. You know, Legatus is just a tremendous organization of businessmen, businesswomen who are ambassadors in the marketplace. And so it was great to be able to talk to them about the use of media, new media, and newer media in terms of evangelization, and they were a great audience, and they were just really nice to me. I'm kind of sad this morning, though.
Why?
Well, no, I'm serious.
Okay.
I had the chance once to meet Archbishop Pietro
sure.
Sambi, and I mean, even if you hadn't had the chance to meet him, if you've seen him on TV, and I know you will often see him here on Catholic TV when new bishops are ordained and installed, and he reads the apostolic mandate. He was just a wonderful, wonderful man, and truly a generous priest and great bishop. And the church is poorer now because we've lost him.
Yeah, I was reading about it on our Facebook page, and we certainly are. But he's in a better place right now than we are.
May God be good to him and reward him for his generous service to the church.
Well, I have to tell you, this morning you and I had a wonderful meeting. I have a few books in front of me, Ordinary Grace, Daily Gospel Reflections, Path of Holiness, Life's Purpose.
This one's mine, by the way.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're all yours. And
no, those two are yours, and this is mine.
We got these from the Daughters of St. Paul. We had a meeting with the Daughters of St. Paul, who we love here at Catholic TV, and it had nothing to do, actually, with the books. It had to do with something that you're going to be at, that is September 18th. But they gave us these books, and they have great stuff.
They have great stuff, and their website is pauline.org. If you want some great Catholic resources, not just books, but CDs, DVDs, and all kinds of great media for you to use in your own education and the education of your children and others, and the work of evangelization, pauline.org is the place to go.
Just a wonderful, wonderful place. Wonderful sisters, too. So it's always a great day here at Catholic TV when we can speak with the sisters.
Amen.
And next week, we're actually traveling again. And you are, I'm not, but you are heading out to the Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus, the Supreme Convention, the 129th Supreme Convention. I will have the privilege, a word that I can rarely say correctly, to be there with our great friend, Kevin Nelson, who is waiting over the news desk at this very moment, and Bonnie Rogers and Peter and Stephen and all the rest. We're going to go out there and we're going to bring to you, once again, the 129th Supreme Convention of the Knights of Columbus. Peter Sonsky has been tremendous to us in helping us arrange this.
And for you, our friends who are watching on Salt and Light, you can watch it also via Salt and Light. I know that Father Rosica will be up there with his wonderful crew, so they'll be bringing that into your home too. So it is a great convention. The Knights have always been so good to us. Carl Anderson, who is in charge, has been very good to us, and it's a great opportunity to meet men who are working very hard to help the Catholic Church.
And you'll have the chance too on Catholic TV to meet once again the Supreme Knight Carl Anderson. We'll have him at our desk and have a chance to talk with him, and he'll tell us about what's been going on this past year in that wonderful group of men my brothers, the Knights of Columbus.
And we're going to have some surprise interviews, too. I don't even want to say who it is, because you never know. You know what? Sometimes people get busy.
Sure.
But there are some interviews that are going to happen that I think you'll find extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you a hint. Very timely. Very timely. I'm going to say no more than that.
Good stuff.
Very timely. Well, we have our letters here as usual. You have the first letter. What do you have?
Well, Patricia wrote this, and it kind of reminds me of a song. She says, Catholic TV is my life and my salvation. I can almost set that to music, but I'm not going to. I am not able to get around anymore, but Catholic TV keeps me happy and content, informed with what's going on, and I thank God for that privilege. See, I said it right that time.
First time.
That's Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. I'm glad you enjoy Catholic TV, and may it continue to be your life, and may Jesus be your salvation.
Now, this is from Priscilla, so it must be names with P
today.
And Priscilla says, I want to let you know that I really enjoyed the Rosary with Remembering Father Frank these past few weeks. Thank you for giving us that special treat. Could 10 years have gone so fast, and Catholic TV has come so far in that time. And Priscilla, it has been great to see Father Frank on TV again. Not only the rosaries, but some of the special programming that Mark Wilson has put on along with Bonnie. And it has gone by very, very quickly, and it shows that time goes by quickly. Thanks for watching.
Now, Nina writes this, I love everything that is on Catholic TV. How do you like that? During the day, when life gets difficult, you are always there to pick me up. Well, Nina, let me tell you something. That is our goal. Even at this very moment, we are sitting here with the hope that if you're down, no matter who you are, Nina or whomever, we hope that we can pick you right up. That's what we're trying to do.
We will try. And Eleanor and Mary, thanks for writing in. A little note to tell you how very much we appreciate all the hard work you do to bring us so much wonderful TV. We try not to miss the Rosary, the Mass, while going my way. And we so enjoy seeing Father Frank again. Now, the only thing I would say about the letter, Eleanor and Mary, which we love, is that you forgot to mention this is the day. So hopefully you're watching this program so you could see that we have put your letter in there.
I'm sure it was just momentary forgetfulness.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you'd like to write us or email us, it's really easy to do. Write us at This Is the Day. Write us at Catholic TV, 34 Chestnut Street.
Testing your memory.
I am. See, this is what happens when you don't put it up.
P.O. Box 9196.
Watertown, Massachusetts, 02471.
That was a team effort.
Or This Is the Day at CatholicTV.com. You know what? I should know it, though. We've been doing it forever. But it's just that usually I just read that off the screen.
Yeah,
we'll have the address at the end anyway.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Kevin, how you doing over there?
Doing good, Jay, Father.
What'd you think? Did you think I would remember any of that?
No, and you didn't.
Well, I tried my best, but obviously you didn't help me out at all. You're just over there doing your own thing. You probably have a cup of coffee that you've hidden underneath.
Yeah, it's in my car.
Hey, Kevin, things are tough in Somalia. I'm glad you're going to be able to fill us in on that.
Yes, yeah, we got quite some news here to take a look at.
Well, what's going on around the world in the Catholic faith?
All right, thanks, Jay and Father. Hello, everyone. It is time to take a look at the news. We begin with news, as we've been talking about, from Washington. Archbishop Pietro Sambi, papal nuncio to the United States, died late July 27th at Johns Hopkins Medical Center in Baltimore. He was 73 years old. Rome Reports has more on the death of Archbishop Sambi.
Archbishop Pietro Sambi, the Apostolic Nuncio to the United States, died on Wednesday at the age of 73. He was suffering from health complications which worsened after undergoing lung surgery roughly 2 weeks ago. Back in 2005, Pope Benedict XVI appointed Sambi as a nuncio to the U.S., where he was based in the nation's capital. Before this, the Archbishop served as an ambassador in Indonesia and Israel. The Italian Archbishop was also an apostolic delegate in Jerusalem and Palestine. His funeral is scheduled for Saturday, August 6th at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington, D.C.
In a statement, New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan, president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, said that Archbishop Sambi understood and loved our nation. He said the Archbishop traveled throughout the country, often to attend the ordination of bishops, always eager to meet the faithful and to share with them the affection that the Holy Father has for them and their country. Cardinal Sean O'Malley of Boston released a statement as well yesterday, saying the Archbishop was an engaging and dedicated leader who had great love for a deep commitment to the Catholic faithful of our country. He said the Archbishop was a good and holy man, and he will be greatly missed. In news now from around the world, the situation in the Horn of Africa, as we said, is dire. Millions of people in Somalia are on the brink of starvation. The Vatican has been keeping a close eye on the situation, and many aid organizations are on the ground trying to help those who are leaving the drought-stricken areas in Somalia and traveling long distances to neighboring countries. Carol Glatz from Catholic News Service reports on the situation and the work the Jesuit Refugee Service is doing to try to help.
We see that the Vatican is keeping its eye on the worsening famine in Somalia and giving top news coverage to the latest relief efforts. The United Nations says some 11 million people in the Horn of Africa risk starvation in the wake of an extreme, prolonged drought there. Jesuit Refugee Service is on the ground in refugee camps surrounding Somalia, helping those displaced by the famine. Jesuit Father Peter Belais says while organizations such as the World Food Program concentrate on emergency food aid, JRS focuses on long-term solutions and people's other essential needs, like post-traumatic counseling and education, so that today's refugees can become empowered citizens building a better future.
It's not just the hunger, it is the violence people have suffered, the trauma they've gone through. That's why it's a long-term kind of rebuilding the human person, not just physically, but also in the soul, in the heart, through psychosocial work and education. And we see education in particular as a long-term contribution, if I may even say a long-term solution. You will have in 3, 4, 5 years again a drought. In 10 years again a drought. There's a cycle to droughts in the Horn of Africa. But a country which is functional, is governed, can respond to it. The international community can go there and help the country. In the case of Somalia, they cannot go. No one can go inside and work there. So people have to flee, have to cross the border in order to get the help one could deliver if there were a functional country. And to change somewhere, and hopefully soon in the future, the fate of Somalia, helping with education for women particularly also, that maybe, hopefully and surely something will change in that country, that we will not have every 3, 5, 6, 7 years a cyclic catastrophe as we have now.
Looking now at other news from around the world, in Vietnam, according to a prison official, Father Thaddeus Nguyen Van Lai has been returned to prison more than a year after he was sent home to seek treatment for a brain tumor. The priest, who is one of Vietnam's most well-known democracy activists, was accused by the government of distributing anti-government writings. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison for subversion. However, after suffering from a brain tumor and 3 strokes during his 3 years in prison, he was allowed to take a medical leave. An official told the Associated Press that Lai, who is 64 years old, defied a court order to return to jail, so authorities forcefully removed the priest from his residence and returned him to a prison outside the northern capital of Hanoi. And finally in the news, Father Thomas Rosica, CEO of Salt and Light Television, has been appointed president of Assumption University in Windsor, Ontario. Father Rosica told the Catholic Register in Toronto that his term will begin on December 1st and that he will continue in his position at the Canadian television network he founded, and he will oversee both entities. Assumption University is an independent Catholic university federated with the University of Windsor. Originally founded by the Jesuits, the university has been run by the Basilian Fathers for more than 150 years. Father Rosica told the paper that Salt and Light will be a key instrument in bringing some new life to Assumption University, something he sees as an exciting challenge. Well, that is all the information we have for you on this Friday, July 29th. We go back over to Father Eden J. with more of This Is the Day.
And a special congratulations to Father Rosica from
Great
us
news.
here. Yeah, that is great, great news. Well, joining us now is Monica, who is a singer and has performed at World Youth Day in Cologne, Germany. Monica, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're really excited to have us with you. I want to hear a little bit
truly an
about your story, first of all. You have a transition from being a rebellious young lady, as you know, a lot of people are, to being a devout Catholic. Tell us about that.
So during my teenage years, I was somewhat rebellious. My mother was always setting down rules, at times too overprotective, but she was always involved in my life. I did find ways to break the rules and lie, obviously. I think the continuity of her love allowed me to re-examine my faith and really my life. And so, you know, it started at a young age with conferences. She was always taking us to conferences, Matthew Kelly conferences.
Oh, Matthew Kelly. Sure.
Yes, and healing services. And so her devotion to God and I think her involvement, constant involvement, allowed me to have this underlining faith that I just kind of put on hold for a while, especially during my college years when a lot of the liberal ideologies were influencing me and causing me to really question my faith. So one day my mother asked me if I'd go to a healing service with her. I think it was at Our Lady of Fatima Shrine in Holliston, Massachusetts.
Sure.
And at first I had refused, but then I gave in and I said, all right, I guess I'll come with you. And so as I went up to get blessed, one of the leaders, it was a woman, she had looked at me and she says, you need to visit God. And I kind of looked at her in awe and said, excuse me? And she said, I don't know what it is, but I feel you need to visit God. And so I left a little bit confused and contemplating what this woman had said. And as we went home, we entered. My brother shouted upstairs, Mom, you know, turn on the news. There was some talk of the Blessed Mother, her image appearing on a window in Milton, Massachusetts.
I remember that.
I guess they claimed the image had formed from condensation between two panels.
Right.
So those were enough signs for the day for me, so I decided to call it a night. And, so that night I had a dream. It was so vivid, so real. I dreamt of the Blessed Mother, really just her silhouette, and I guess the way I could explain it is to that of Guadalupe, the image of Guadalupe, but you couldn't see her features. And she put her hand on my shoulder, and I just remember her touch was cool. And at that moment, I was scared, so I tried to call my mother upstairs, screaming, and she said to me, Monica, your mother will not hear you until you start to pray. And I just remember her handing me a white piece of paper with 3 prayers on it. The next day, I went to tell my mother what had happened about my dream and all. And then it all kind of made sense to me. Not so much, I think what she was trying to tell me was, my heavenly mother will not hear me until I start to pray.
Sure.
Not so much my earthly mother, because in my dream I was screaming for my mother upstairs,
Right.
but really until I start to pray. And so the next day, really, my life took a turn. Again, after going to the healing service and then having this dream and just everything kind of all at once, I started visiting my local parish, just going downstairs to the basement. The 5 minutes at adoration turned into 10 minutes, and then back to weekly Mass on Sundays.
Nice.
And I really started to give my life to God, asking God to show me the way, because I knew where I wanted to be at that moment wasn't the right place.
Yeah.
And so I really knew that there was really one way. And it wasn't easy, I'm not going to lie, but I will say that He did lead me to I think, a more fulfilling life, a life of true happiness.
And music
And music.
plays a part of this in this whole transition. You know, John Denver used to say, I'm dating myself, music makes pictures and often tells stories, all of them magic and all of them true. How has music played a part in this transition in your spiritual life?
So music. I've always been passionate for music at a young age, but I never had any formal training. I never took any lessons. I could never play an instrument. But this passion landed me a job, believe it or not, at the Jimi Hendrix Electric Lady Studios in Manhattan.
Huh.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
it did. And so I just remember going on the interview, and it was really just kind of mere connection, and I got the job. Shortly after, to return to Boston to really work on my dream of creating positive music with a message. I myself was influenced by the false messages in the media and knew that I had to use this gift really for the greater good. And so, you know, I wanted to take my experiences and put them to music in hopes of really changing or awakening the youth who are in desperate need in today's world and culture.
Yeah.
And so again, I wanted to take you know, words of encouragement and put them to music, a unique sound, a sound they could relate to, a modern sound, but again, with a message. And so from there, I started experimenting with an audio program at home, really just writing lyrics, writing my story, putting it to music, and I sent it out to a local producer who goes by the name of Stomp Machine. And he emailed me back and he said, I want to help you, I want to work with you. And we created an EP. And with this EP, I managed to send it out to local and international events. And I first got my start with Peter Campbell of Proud to be Catholic. From there, I started traveling to different countries and then landed, well, I had obviously submitted my music to World Youth Day and then had the opportunity to sing in Cologne, Germany in 2005.
Amazing.
What was that like?
What was that like? The experience was like no other. I remember discussing, you know, obviously talking to a few artists who had performed years prior, and they said to me, Monica, when you go there, don't expect much. Expect to perform on a side street. So I just remember the day before my performance, I had a good friend with me. We were out passing flyers everywhere, just because, you know, I was fearful that maybe no one would show up to my little event on a side street. So the next day I had the sound check. And I remember approaching Bergplatz Square. And I just saw this big stage there, and I went up and they said, yes, tonight you'll be performing here to 5,000 plus.
Wow, that's not a side street.
That was the main stage in Dusseldorf. And so for me, obviously it exceeded all my expectations, but also it was another confirmation of God's plan for me. A person, again, with no music background, just this passion for music, who really wanted to give her life to God.
Now, it's been great to have you here today. We're running out of time.
Right,
so
of course.
Is there a place where people could go online to find out more about you and your work?
For sure. You can go to monicaursino.com and you can see, obviously, learn more about me, hear my music, and then my other works, because I do have other passions as well, media in general and the arts. Unfortunately, fortunately, we're expecting, so music is on hold for now, but I really do hope to continue in the near future, start kind of creating more music.
A Christmas baby.
A Christmas baby.
December 23rd, next time you're back, we'll have to have you sing. After the baby.
For sure.
We'll bring the baby up and we'll have you sing.
I am all for it.
Great.
Thank you so much
for being with us. And we have more of This Is a Day right after this. We're back here with Kevin Nelson sitting out here and Father Reed. And Kevin, you're going to be out at Knights of Columbus?
Yeah, we're working hard. We're putting that whole script together. We're going to be here Tuesday.
Jam-packed.
All day long, yeah.
All day, all night.
As you suggested and teased, Jay, we'll have some great interviews. We'll be talking with Peter Sonsky, and we'll be sort of highlighting some of the many initiatives that the Knights have been doing. Some great stuff. You know, just to give you a tease, they're actually working with some of the victims of the Haitian earthquake, providing prosthetics to amputees. So, you know, hopefully we'll be able to talk to some of them while we're there as well.
Very nice. And Peter Sonsky, I just have to throw this out there. Peter has been just wonderful to us. But talking about the Knights of Columbus, actually, if you get our magazine, which is coming out now, you'll be able to see Peter and Carl Anderson because, Father, you have it right in your hands right now.
There it is. This is the magazine for the Catholic TV network for August with, as Jay said, the Supreme Night on the cover, and all kinds of information inside about our coverage next Tuesday, next week, of the Supreme Convention, the 129th, as well as World Youth Day coming up in August, August 16th to the 20th. Our full coverage is also mentioned there in the magazine, and you can have all of that and more by dropping us a note at that address, which is on the screen. If you don't get it, we'll send it to you every single month.
And
this
more.
month thereafter.
And more.
And more.
And more.
Yeah, and more. And much more. Well, you know, Monica mentioned World Youth Day and that she performed in Cologne, Germany. And we will be covering World Youth Day here at Catholic TV. And it is a wonderful event. There are just so many young people who go to that. And there's been so many stories of evangelization through World Youth Day that we have always enjoyed. Have you ever gone to World Youth Day, Father Reed?
You know, I actually haven't.
You haven't?
But I've always enjoyed them on Catholic TV. But you know, the thing about World Youth Day is, you know, Pope Benedict now, of course, will be present next month in August at World Youth Day in Madrid, and it was the brainchild of Blessed John Paul II, and he really was the great communicator, and it, as you say, is an event for evangelization, a truly a media event, a media-saturated event, and that's why it's so appropriate that we're able to bring the entire World Youth Day each and every time it occurs, each 2 years, to you here on Catholic TV, because it is really a media-saturated event for the purpose of evangelization.
And the one thing I have to say, and I don't know if, Monica, I don't know if you noticed this when you were there, but when I was there, the crowd goes crazy when the Holy Father comes out. This is for a Mass, and he comes out and they're all clapping. The helicopter drives around and people go crazy. Yeah. But the moment they start the Mass, and you have a million, you can have a million young adults there.
Yeah.
They all get quiet. So they understand the reverence and the importance of the Mass, and that's very important.
It's kind of like when Kevin Nelson walks in the room.
We do. We all quiet down.
Everybody just shuts up.
Yeah.
I wish that was true.
Well, you haven't been to a World Youth Day, right?
I have not. No.
You're too old now, by the way.
I just report on them.
Well, that's how it goes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We want to remind you, by the way, that we have our prayer box right here, and we continue to get so many prayer requests that come in here. So we ask that you at your home can remember all of the people who not only write in, but those people who are at home who are seeking prayers or need your prayers. Really appreciate it. You're a powerful prayer community. And thank you for joining us, and know that you're all in our thoughts and prayers.
And as we continue to move through these dog days of summer, it is officially now the dog days of summer. May Almighty God bless and protect you today and always. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Catholic TV living room, joining Kevin and Jay, myself, and Monica. And may God continue to bless you throughout this weekend. And thanks for being with us. Continue to watch us on Catholic TV, and when online, visit us at CatholicTV.com.